praise to Yahweh, in the name of His Son, Yahweh Shai, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Double honors to my elders, apostles, and the bishops of the great millstone. This is where I have learned this truth, and this is where I am still learning this truth. And also shalom to the remnant and the elect of Israel, Lord willing, I'm of that number. All right, this is going to be a quick video, I believe. All right, but we'll see. Okay, I could be wrong. Depends on where Spirit takes us, right? This is going to be going back into Revelation 13, verses 16 and 17. Okay? So let's go ahead and get here. All right, it reads, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name." So this he, okay, as we've spoken about before, is the wicked. Right? It is Esau, Edom. Okay, it is the self-called and so-called white man. Okay, does that mean that everyone that looks so-called white is an Edomite? No. Okay, Israel was spread into, as a consequence of disobedience, Israel was spread into all nations of the earth. All right, you can find that in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, starting at verse 15 on down to 68, more specifically, the 64th verse. Let me go in here and see. All right, Deuteronomy 28 and 64. It reads, "And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone." And even being in these other nations, all right, we still go through persecution, all right, and all these things, as it reads here. And let me find this. Jeremiah 12 and 9. "Mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird." Okay, speaking of the different shades that Israelites come in. All shade, we come in all shades. We are spread across all nations. And the rest of this verse points to the nations that surround us, even if they look like us, all right, are against us. Again, let me start at the top. "Mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds round about are against her. Come ye, assemble all beasts of the field, come and devour." And that's what happened to Israel. We were devoured up. Okay, we fell into other beliefs, philosophies. All right, we walked away from our Lord, and these nations approved of it. As a matter of fact, it was a part of their plan. You can read about that in Psalm, the 83rd chapter. All right, it lists the enemies of the Lord, which means that they are enemies of ours. All right, and this time, enemies even mean 2/3 of our people. Okay, but going back to the point, no, everyone that looks so-called white is not an Edomite, just as everyone that looks or has melanation is not an Israelite. Okay, so you have to judge with more than your eyes alone. You have to judge with more than your ears alone. It's about the spirit. With that being said, you have to go back to being an actual Israelite. All right, it depends on the house of your father, his father, all the way back. All right, but the bloodline is still alive and well. All right, the bloodlines. Okay, what I mean by that is the 12 tribes. All right, so let's go back here again to the prophecy. "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads." All right, so the technology that this is warning of is already in the earth. All right, but this technology within itself is not sin. So we know what a micro-C-hip looks like. All right, we've seen pictures of it all over the place. All right, that thing by itself, you can hold it in between your fingers. You can, all right, that is not sin. The sin comes when you receive this thing into your body. All right, this devil, the Esau Edom, the wicked, all right, is a carnal being. All right, so his mark, his stamp of approval is going to be a carnal mark. It's going to be a physical thing. All right. On the flip side of that, the Lord is a spiritual. This is a spiritual thing. All right. His mark is the Thawa. Okay. His mark is the Thawa. But I just wanted to go into a couple of things. If you read Revelation 13 and verse 18, here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, showing you that this is a man we are speaking of here, up here in the and he. All right. And his number is 603 score six. If we go into this, 603 score six, all right, goes back to Chi Xi stigma. Okay, listen up for a second.
Strong's G 5516. Chi Xi stigma. Chi Xi stigma.
All right, we're gonna check out what this stigma is really quick and get the meaning. All right. All right.
Strong's G 4742. Stigma. Stigma.
All right. It says a mark pricked in or branded upon the body. To ancient Oriental usage, slaves and soldiers bore the name or stamp of their master or commander, branded or pricked. All right. In parentheses, it says cut into their bodies to indicate what master or general they belonged to. Okay, and there were even some devotees who stamped themselves in this way with the token of their gods. Down here in Strong's definition of stigma, it says a mark incised or punched for recognition of ownership. All right, it says figuratively a scar or service. Scar of service. What does? I want to look up a couple words really quick. Let's look up.
Incise.
All right, incise. Past tense of incised. All right, it says mark or decorate. In parentheses, it says an object or a surface. We're speaking about the body now, right? It says with a cut or a series of cuts. Okay, it also says a mark or decoration into a surface. Okay, similar words are engrave, etch. Okay, keep that in mind. It says carve, cut, inscribe. Okay. Another part of this definition says cut skin or flesh with a surgical instrument. Similar words are cut, cut into, make an incision, slit. Okay. So this mark is something that they're going to cut. They're going to cut the body and put it into you. Okay.
Punch.
right, check this out. And remember, in Strong's definition, it says a mark incised or punched. All right, and the definition took me to punch. And this is to remind people that words have different definitions. All right, so you have to go through the definitions, and there's one that fits, right? So if I tell you that, if I point at a, if I point at, let me see, what's a good way? All right. So the word world, all right, you have sea world, all right, you have the world of the birds, all right, the world of in the jungle, okay? That word has different definitions. Which one is right? If you say a shark rules the world, all right, or is a top predator in the world, you should know that it's talking about in the sea, not in the jungle. Okay. So the word punch, okay. Verb, it says strike with the fist. All right, we know what a punch is, right? Do you think a mark? Do you think that the mark of the beast is going to be if someone punched you, all right, with their fist? No. All right, drive with a blow from the fist. Okay, that's not it. All right, but listen to this. This is punch. It says past tense punch. It says pierce a hole in. Okay. All right, pierce a hole in. Pierce a hole with or as though with a punch. All right. So back to stigma. Strong's definition. It says a mark incised or punched for recognition of ownership. All right, and that's what this MOTB is going to be. All right, they're going to use a charox, which is the root word of charagma. All right, that's the tool that they're going to use to slide this mark of the beast, this micr-C-hip or RFID-C-hip into you. All right. So again, let's go back up here and read this prophecy. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Now let's go get the word for mark.
Strong's G 5480. Charagma. Charagma.
All right, it says of the mark stamped on the forehead or on the right hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist. Anti meaning against, Christ going back, or meaning, right, the Messiah or the anointed. So of the mark stamped on the forehead or on the right hand as the badge of the followers of the ones that are against the anointed. Okay. Strong's definition of charagma, a scratch or etching. Remember, that was a similar word to incise. Okay. A scratch or etching, i.e. stamp, as a badge of servitude. All right, the Lord has a spiritual mark on his men, and this devil, all right, the man that comes to do the workings of the spiritual demon Satan, all right, which the spiritual demon Satan does the bidding, all right, he is righteous in the eyes of the Lord, meaning that he does everything that the Lord tells him to do, which is the left-handed things. Okay, and this man, okay, doesn't consider that. All right, he does not consider this at all. Okay, so do not take, Let's go ahead and go to this karax, which is the root word of charagma.
Strong's G 5482. Charax. Charax.
All right, it says to sharpen to a point, okay, through the idea of scratching. It says a pail or stake, okay. So they use the karax, this tool that's sharp to pierce your skin and to push that micr-C-hip, all right, up under the skin, okay, which acts as a badge of servitude, all right, to show who you worship, who you are in allegiance with. Okay, and given all the things that it reads here in Revelation 14, let's go ahead and go here and read these. Revelation 14 verses 9 and 10 with the subheading being doom for worshipers of the beast. It says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, okay, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Now, if you worship the beast and his image, you best believe that receiving his mark is the next thing that's coming. Okay, and that description down here of what is going to happen if you worship the beast, receive his mark, okay, it's not a good description. All right, that's not something to look forward to, which means that the Lord is pointing towards not receiving this thing. Again, in Revelation 16, verses 1 and 2, with the heading being 6 bowls of wrath, is what this is about, this chapter. It says, and I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the 7 angels, go your ways, and pour out the vials of the wrath of God upon the earth. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image. All right, those are not good descriptions. Okay, so you want to avoid, or you want to pray sincerely to the Lord Yahweh and Yahweh Shai that this thing doesn't come upon you. All right, because really that is who it depends on. It doesn't depend on what you want to do and what you think you will do. It depends on what the Lord is going to have you do. All right, what lot you feel. Okay, so I just wanted to bring that up again about the stigma. All right, so do not take the MOTB. Do not take the RFID-C-hip. Do not take the charagma. Do not take this mark of the beast, man. Okay, Lord willing. All right, so with that, I just want to say all praise to Yahweh, Baal Hashem Yahweh Shai, Baal Hashem Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to my elders, apostles, and the bishops of Great Millstone. This is where I have learned this truth, and this is where I am still learning this truth. And also shalom to the remnant and the elect of Israel. Lord willing, we'll see you in the next video. Shalom.